What's that, Keith?
Gotta wait for the old dude to get his hearing aids.
I wasn't going to say that.
Sure, you can say that.
The cameras aren't on yet. Oh, my friend Keith Smith is in the studio right here. Had to put out a fire or two this morning, huh, Keith?
I did.
It's what we do essentially for a living, is we put out fires.
I tell people all the time, my father, grandfather, great-grandfather, all were New York City firemen. And at the end of the day, that's kind of all we do, right? Put fires out all day long.
You'll appreciate this.
I still can't hear you because I don't have my hearing aids in.
My grandma asked, what do you do for a living? She goes, essentially I just solve problems all day.
It's funny, my mother constantly asks me, so what do you do for a living? All I see you is on this thing with Jerry Miller and Real Talk.
I think it's that generation was just much more accustomed to like a rigid 9 to 6, like punch card, clock in, sit at desk.
My father worked 3 jobs to pay the bills.
Right.
Stuff, so it was
they're just not as accustomed to make your own schedule. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think she really doesn't know what I do for a living.
He talks, Mrs. Smith. He talks.
And she will. My grandmother, God rest her soul, would say, "Keithy, my boy, when they vaccinated you, they used a phonograph needle instead of a hypodermic needle." Shut the hell up.
Oh, I'm glad they use that kind of needle for you, Keith.
Well, do we know what a phonograph needle is?
Oh, we do. We do.
So she actually, the term she actually used was a Victrola needle.
Okay, see, I would not have known that.
Yeah, well, it's an early version of.
Yeah, well, where's that from?
Like 1819.
It's not 1819, Keith Smith. Oh, gosh. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you're watching. It's a Friday edition of Real Talk with 3 people and a dog. 3 men and a dog. Yeah, they're hot.
Get a microphone for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've asked them.
I just did.
Okay. I would love.
Executive producer would like.
I mean, I wanted to get from him yesterday.
You're going to ask me if I know what a Victrola is?
Say that again?
You're going to ask me if I know what a Victrola is?
Sure. What's a Victrola?
It's the one with the crank and the...
There you go. That's it, with the big thing on it, right?
Smart guy.
He knows.
He's a very smart guy.
He knows.
Guys, give the show a like and a share. Mona Daniel. Hello, Mona.
Hey, whoa. Mona.
Carriage House.
Carriage House. Let's talk about that.
All right, let's go. Let's do Carriage House on 3. Okay, let's go. Mona Daniel's
How many
Carriage
is that?
House on 3.
How many is it? This many?
Well, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we say Mona Daniel's Carriage House.
There you go.
1, 2, 3.
Mona Daniel's Carriage House.
She's got Airbnb going.
She needs to share it.
Well, I saw that. You left it in the comments. You said make it shareable.
Yeah, so we can share it on the show.
Mona, is it Rosemont Farm?
It is.
Yeah. And how about a soap making class while at the Airbnb?
Are you trying to insinuate something?
No, she makes soap.
Yeah.
She makes.
And she does bread.
Yeah.
Kombucha. She
likes cheese and adult beverages. And then, I like all those things.
And she's got a 23-acre farm, and maybe when certain growing product becomes legal, they may end up growing some of them. I'm only kidding.
Oh!
I don't. No. That's just me going off.
You're joking over there. The man's joking.
Going on.
We're going to have a lively edition of Real Talk here on the I Love Seville Network. We are live on every social media platform humanly possible. Michael Johnson says hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Neam Tyler, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Michael Johnson, if you need a rental, anybody that is listening, if they have questions about rental, that's the man to ask.
Michael Johnson?
Yep.
There you go. Michael Johnson, thank you for watching. We appreciate you watching the program when you do. Keith, you ready to rock and roll, my boy? Beatrice Nanty.
I'm trying to find Mona's.
Ryan Yoda, hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Scotty Morris. Hello,
hey, Scott.
Enjoyed having you in the studio the other day.
Scott's a rock star. We're having a rather challenging deal, and he's making it happen. So,
per usual.
As usual.
Georgia Harvey, hello and welcome to the broadcast. Ellen Lopez, hello. Guys, give the show a like and a share. Michael Long, welcome to the broadcast, and thank you kindly for joining us. Guys, we are live across every social platform possible.
Oh, she made it shareable.
Oh, good job, Mona Daniel. Very nicely done. And happy birthday to your mother. Belated birthday, Mona. Happy belated birthday to your mom.
So I just tagged you and shared it to you. Maybe we can put it in the feed.
Okay, we can do that. J-Dubs, we can rock and roll when you're ready, homie.
What are we talking about today?
You're the executive producer.
Mona Daniels. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Singular.
Oh, Daniels.
Yeah,
So there you go.
You need that adjective Laminated
Well,
cardigan.
no, what she needs is, that's exactly right, Mona. We need the
Rock. Color. Rock.
Yeah, well, she,
Light.
You know, she
Fire.
She knows what Marines are like, so she'll make it Marine proof.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
That was, I got to tell you, with all the 30 years of doing this, the most fun, not most fun, but the most challenging or fun, I should say, touring of houses with Mona.
Oh, wow. That's quite a compliment.
Yeah,
You've been doing this for 30 years.
I had a lot of fun because, she wanted to play the adjective game with me. I had to I paused for a second.
How did that work? I know you.
Not well at all. I lost because I'm like, okay, what's an adjective? What's an adjective?
Oh, man. It's going to be good, guys.
New York City school system. Yay.
All right, J-Dubs, let's rock and roll, baby. Good Friday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness. You're going to get some chuckles, some insight, and I'll tell you what, a little guidance in life from the Three Stooges and a dog here on the I Love Seville Network. J-Dubs, if you could, get that light on behind Keith Smith so we can shine the spotlight on our star, the executive producer. Before you do, you're going to want to go to the two-shot there, Judah Wickower. Thank you very much. Keith Smith.
You
My
just
friend.
gave me an idea for our Halloween show. Instead of Batman, we'll do the Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges. I want to go up and down the downtown mall in our costumes.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
You know I wanted to do that with the Batman.
I know
and Robin.
that. I know that. I walked it back.
Well, you were terrified we would be arrested, particularly you.
I was kind of terrified of being laughed at, to be honest.
No, you're Batman. Do you remember our?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
It was a great costume. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, sir. You know, it's a beautiful day. Hoofed it over from the Ix building, our office over there, to here today. And if you have an opportunity to get out there and enjoy the sunshine and no humidity, it's just going to be a really gorgeous day. And get out there and try to enjoy it.
Amen.
And go do a bed and breakfast at Mona.
Yeah, Rosemont Farm, Airbnb.
There you go.
There you go.
So, don't really have too much planned for today. I was just, we're going to do either the Three Stooges or Batman and Robin or whatever version of that that we end up landing on, and we just let our chemistry go and have a lot of fun. I do want to kick it off with a couple of things. As you know, I've been watching these market monitors I get every morning.
Sure.
Today is the first time I've seen that 18 units came on the market, 13 went pending. So that's the last 24 hours. So that's the first time I've seen that.
In 2021.
That's the first time I've seen that number go the other way.
So let's put that in perspective. Let them know again. That's a important little stat right there.
Car footprint. Albemarle, Fulvana, Nelson Green, Charlottesville, Louisa. 18 new homes went on the market. 13 went into pending. So it's a lagging indicator. So that was the last 24 hours as of 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday to 9 o'clock in the morning.
And what's that tell you?
What I'm telling you is the numbers it was always the other way around, right? It was single digits on new, double digits on pending. So I think we're getting to some equilibrium, and I think you're starting to see a little bit of that out in the market. So, I think that's some positive news going that way. I ran the same set of numbers going back 7 days. I'll call it pretty close on par. Last 7 days going backwards, 87 came on the market, 96 went into pending. That's kind of balanced. So that's what I think we're all looking for, is something of a little bit more balanced market.
Stabilized.
Stabilized. There you go.
Yeah.
And there's another spreadsheet I gave you because I know you love spreadsheets.
I love stats.
So one of the tracks that I've been following is in this market monitor is price change. And so in the last 7 days, there's been 24 price changes. excuse me, 54, I apologize, 54 price changes. 30 of them were new construction. They all went up. The balance of 24 was existings. They've all been reduced. Some a couple of thousand, some substantially, but you're starting to see pricing.
So you're basically saying the buyer may have a tad more leverage, a smidge.
Smidge.
A smidge. A smidge.
So what's the secret if you got to sneeze?
Look at the lights.
Look at the light. Okay, so I'm looking at the light.
Or say strawberries, strawberries, strawberries.
Or realtor.
Yeah, realtor.
I'm waiting for the thing from Mona. and she hasn't given it to me. I'm just saying.
Ben Hurst on Twitter. You said you wanted some Twitter questions.
No, I wanted to pick up a little. We had a bunch from Tuesday. And
Yeah.
we were on fire, and
Yeah.
I'd love to pick that back up.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Ben says Charlottesville sales prices rose 18% from $337,000 in 2020's first 3 months to $397,650 this year. I studied the CAR report. I noticed there was a mistake initially, and then CAR corrected it.
Yeah.
This increase from 337 to 397,650 in a year seems very unhealthy. Jerry, please ask Keith.
Well, I think that's kind of what we're talking about. So we're starting to see the prices stabilize a little bit. And a couple of shows ago, I ran an analysis over the last 20 years, from 2000 until 2020, and looked at what the year-over-year percentage increase was. And the reason I took it that long was I wanted to have the half a decade of the implosion, for lack of a real estate implosion, and we averaged somewhere around 5.5% year-over-year increase. Some was a little higher, some was a little bit lower. I think you're going to see some stabilization on the pricing, but I think as more units come on the market, you're going to just see things kind of level out a little bit. But there's no balloon here, there's no pop here, right? There's no, things are going to go a repeat of 2006 or 7 on that end of it. At least everybody who's way smarter than me, with PhDs and all this fun stuff is saying. I'm just saying, we're looking at the real thing, real on the ground. We're going to see some stabilization. Some people, I suspect, what we're shaking up the numbers is some folks maybe put their houses on a little bit higher than what they're.
Yeah, they got greedy.
Well,
they thought it was an overseller's market.
Greedy.
And eventually, and we saw it with lumber, the prices of lumber got so high that it stifled demand. And as it stifled demand, the prices of lumber started
guess what?
dropping. Can you imagine that?
Go figure that.
Yeah, and that's what's happening.
Isn't that like 101 something?
That's 101. So what's the lesson learned here, executive producer?
Well,
price it right from day one. You taught me that.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And look, I'm sure there was no. Here we go.
Nefarious.
Oh, dude.
I know chemistry. I know you well, Keith Smith. You were going to say nefarious.
I literally was going to.
I know you were.
Are we done?
We're not. We're barely into it.
Nefarious. What does that word mean?
Nefarious.
Ill intentions. Yeah. Sketchy.
Yeah. What is it? What is it?
Oh, is that on the microphone, Judah?
$1 million.
We need to get Judah a camera. Bill McKenzie, welcome to the program. If you want to talk about your neighborhood on the show, let us know, Bill McKenzie.
Yeah.
Keith Smith's a smart guy.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. But you're 100% right. So you're seeing that, let's try it. Let's test the market. Let's call it that way. I think greedy is a little bit of a strong word. Aggressive word. I'll let you use that word. I will not use that word. But, let's test the market. And the market, oops, and go back. But it is so important to price it right, because what'll happen is folks just won't look at it. And that's what's happening here, right? And you can also see the ones that are, I'm just going to pick a couple of them, the ones that are substantially lowered, they are 30, 40, 50 days on the market. And that's, somebody just said, okay, fine, we're a little overpriced, let's adjust it a little bit, and these will move at that particular
Bill
point.
says it's easier to go down in price than up. No?
No, not necessarily.
Walk me through that.
No, you can raise your price. Actually, there's one that went up $5,000.
So was that a bidding war?
In Fluvanna County. Went from 224 to 229.
Whereabouts in Fluvanna?
I didn't do the address. I think it's not in Lake Monticello. I just did the numbers, so I didn't do the addresses, stuff like that. But that went up.
So you feel a little stabilization on the horizon.
Yeah, so I think it's across the board. To walk over here, I literally did not see somebody with a mask on.
We predicted, well, we didn't predict. We just had a conversation on the show that after this 90-degree weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia, I mean, you saw the weather, right? Did you see where it was getting up to?
I saw it.
I think.
That's why I'm wearing my linen.
Yeah, you had the short sleeve shirt under the very nice Brooks Brothers jacket.
Thank you.
How do you think it's going to happen after the weekend? After 3 days of 90 degrees?
So everybody was doing this.
That's how yeah.
Everybody was doing this.
Yeah. Well, because you need it if you have to go in somewhere. Yeah. What's your prediction?
I think the weather is the weather, but I think this is the new wristband, right? Or bracelet, I should say.
You have a bracelet on.
I do have a bracelet on, but I don't know if you're familiar with that. But this is 4Ocean. It's a great little B corporation. They pull, cost you $20. They pull a pound of plastic out of the ocean, and they make a bracelet.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why you're wearing it?
That's why I wear it. Mm-hmm. Got several of them. Take a little bit of plastic out of the ocean. So we had some leftover questions from Tuesday's show. If maybe we can grab them. I don't really have too much of an agenda. I just want to have fun today.
How about this question from Tuesday's show, which you get all the time? Interest rates and your expectations.
So
how often do you get that question?
Today? I think this is the 7th time. So if you follow, do some quick Google searching and all that stuff, if all the experts, the Mortgage Brokers Association, all that kind, they're projecting an upward trend, obviously, right? But we are going to probably see sub 4 this year. 2022, the experts are predicting somewhere around 4. So you're going to see us somewhere around -3, +3, plus or minus, going through the next several months. But come next year, it's going to clean up, and that's kind of wraps it back to this conversation we had on Tuesday about hedging against inflation.
Real estate, ownership.
So we've got more houses coming on the market. We've got prices getting somewhat adjusted.
Your son-in-law is watching in Connecticut. Harry Tyson, I love when you watch the show. Until you throw that bracelet away, Keith. Harry Tyson.
I love you, Harry.
You love that bracelet.
We'll recycle the bracelet. We will not throw it away.
Yeah, you're going to recycle it.
It'll go in the recycling bin.
Yeah. He's not throwing it away. And he has single stream garbage removal at his palace.
We do.
Right?
We do.
Yeah, so do we.
Actually, we separate.
Oh, you do?
I don't
Into
use
two
it.
different cans?
No. We fully separate it in the garage and then go to the recycling center.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's just what we do, that's all.
I like it.
Yeah.
Are you crushing the Diet Pepsi caffeine-free cans for the
first
nickel each can?
First of all, I don't drink Diet Pepsi, but I have for the seltzer water things, we have a little crusher thing in the garage.
Okay,
Crusher.
and are you recycling those and getting?
Yeah, we got a bag for that. We you know.
When I was a kid, my dad has an affinity for Diet Pepsi caffeine-free, like constantly drinks them. And my brother and I would take the cans. We had one of those crushers like you. Mm-hmm. Got a nickel a can. Took them to the recycling center. Those add up. Teach your kids early the value of hard work and the value of a nickel and the value of $1. Please, parents.
Well,
please.
that was something you and Lee talked about yesterday.
That's right.
I didn't get a chance to see the whole conversation or listen to it, in replay or whatever. So where did that conversation end with him? How did you two guys end on that?
Oh, it's a phenomenal show. We were talking about our first jobs. You know this about me. Well, my first job was a busboy 13 Sportsman's Grill in Williamsburg.
And how old were you?
I was 13.
Oh.
Yeah, made $23 my first shift.
Was that even legal back then?
I think so. As a busboy, I wasn't serving booze. I was just cleaning tables and running dishes and the occasional loaded cheese fries from the back of the house to the front of the house. $23 on my first shift. I thought I was a millionaire as a 13-year-old with 2 10s and 3 single-dollar bills.
Until Dad asked you for the rent.
Yeah. No, I think Dad said, you know that $23, you have to pay taxes on that. Take 40% out. What you got, son? And I was like, I'm 13, Dad. I don't know what that means. But the second job was knocking on doors in the neighborhood, doing lawn care. I wouldn't cut the grass. I had a handful of 12-year-olds that would push the lawnmower, and I sold the deals.
Good for you,
And I
man.
cut.
How old were you? 13, 14?
13, 14. So $25 a yard. I
Good
took
for you, man.
$12.50.
Yeah.
Gave $12.50 to the 12-year-old. 12-year-old didn't want to talk to the customer. They were shy. I had no problem talking to people.
Well,
And
first of all, we know that, but 12, 13 is not a huge difference.
Well, you and I at 13 had a little more, how would you describe it?
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah. That's what I was going to say.
Chutzpah.
Chutzpah. And why don't we continue the Yiddish vocabulary?
Well, we won't do that because
I would schlep around the neighborhood. Schlep. I use that right.
Schlep.
Schlep.
What's a schmuck?
Yeah. We can continue if
No,
you
we're
want.
not going to continue with that
Okay.
because if Harry is watching, he'll correct us.
I have no doubt Harry Tyson will. In fact, that's one of the things I love when Harry watches the show, that he corrects us frequently.
He did that the other day when we said that it was the longest show ever, and
He's like, no.
no.
You've gone to the 45-minute marker in the 11 o'clock hour, fella.
That's exactly what he said.
I listened to you.
There you go.
For 2 years and change, I've been able to pick the brain of the oracle of real estate.
Oracle. Is this the Matrix?
No, the oracle of Omaha is Warren Buffett. I'm going to call you the oracle of Charlottesville.
There you go.
I guess that doesn't have the alliteration. But.
No, I'm going to go with the Matrix version of the Oracle.
You know Warren Buffett goes to McDonald's every day for breakfast?
That I did not know,
Yeah.
but I knew that he's living in the same house
Yeah.
that he's had forever.
That's right. So you got one of the richest men in the world living in the same house he's had for 40 years.
See, Yona?
Yeah. What are you going to say to Yoda?
Nothing.
I listen, Yona. I read Yona. Is that what you're saying?
No. So you guys were just to pivot around a little bit.
Sure.
So you guys were talking about with Lee yesterday
Uh-huh.
about, if I remember it,
Dude, he asked me, he said he texted you before he came on the show, and he goes, Keith, I need you to get me 45 years of data. Isn't that what he said to you, Lee Elverson? Is that what he said, right? And
So-
you're like, I think I can get you 2021, the first 5 months.
so it wasn't 45 minutes before the show. It was the night before.
The night before,
like
right.
at 9 o'clock at night. Like, dude, like I'm old. I'm going to bed. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yona's watching. Hello,
Yeah.
Yona. Welcome to the program.
So I think if I remember the conversation right, it was talking a little bit about wealth and owning real estate.
That's right.
Um,
In fact, he has the slides. You have the slides from Elberson yesterday? The inflation slide that shows home values going up while the salaries or the pay of Americans staying relatively flat.
That's true.
Okay.
But that's not the route I wanted to go with it, but it's true. What I think he was trying to say is the amount of income that folks make go to housing is a little higher than it used to be. I think that was his point. And it's interesting because yesterday I chaired a regional housing partnership transportation thing with Diantha McLean.
McKeel.
Thank you, McKeel.
Board of Supervisors, Albemarle County.
I just call it Diantha. I keep on forgetting about her last name. But she did a great job, by
Yeah.
the way. But, we had an expert out on transportation out of Vancouver Island, actually,
Okay.
to talking about how this works. But what is trending up, and I think this is what Lee's trying to say, that it used to be somewhere around 33% of your income went to housing. It's closer to 50%.
Yeah, close to 50% now.
It's closer to 50%.
And you want to get that, guys, obviously, as low as possible if you can do it, so you have the disposable income to pay the other bills in case something comes up, or so you can save.
But his argument was really interesting, and he does not particularly understand our market because he's not in it all the time. But what and Quentin Beckham, if he's watching, he and I has actually had conversations about this previously. So if you do your drive till you qualify, you fly till you qualify, right? And it's a home that is, again, let's say $50,000 less than say something downtown. That was his argument. That's not the case here. That number's closer to 100 to 150 or more. But if the delta was around 50 and you buy a local house and you can walk to work or bike to work or take your multimodal and that's what they were focusing on, then do your ROI, right? So if I'm in my house for 10 years or 20 years or whatever it is, what does that math look like? So I'm not driving a car. So where that 50% was coming from was not only the mortgage portion of it, the insurance portion of it, taxes and interest. What you're doing now is you're adding your transportation cost onto that to go from your home to your work.
Right.
So it was an interesting argument. My pushback to him was, if it's a $50,000 delta, I get it, right?
Okay.
150 or a couple $100,000, that's just
Too large of a delta.
Just too wide.
I want to go down this road, and we talk about this a lot. You know how we talk about the drive to your qualify, fly to your qualify. Some folks go on Harrisonburg and beyond for some affordable housing.
Sure.
The item that's not being considered, everyone's like wear and tear on car,
Sure.
fuel costs.
Sure.
Sure, you'll save a little money by going
I know where you're going.
to the outer counties or 50 miles from the epicenter of employment. Yes, you can get a lower priced home. We know the wear and tear on the car. We know the additional cost of fuel. How come we never talk about the time lost? I mean, that's even more important than the fuel and the wear and tear on the car.
Yeah.
The loss of someone's time.
Sure. And that's exactly what this gentleman was trying to point out. So if I'm sitting in a car for an hour, right now, some people use it to listen to podcasts, Real Talk. I love Charlottesville. But
Always be closing, Smith.
there you go, working on it. But the reality of it is, it's loss of time. And this is what this gentleman was trying to argue. Argue what, the car, the fuel, so forth and so on. But the time, right? This hour and a half, or 45 minutes. What about the aggravation?
Sitting in traffic.
What
What
about
happens if
the
you get in an accident on 81?
So how much is that worth?
Going over the mountain in fog.
I thought you were going to go the difference between appreciation and depreciation.
Oh, let's go down that road, my friend.
Right. So if you buy a car, what does a car do?
40% as soon as you drive it off the lot.
What does
Brand new one.
What does a house do?
House goes the other way.
There you go.
House is an investment.
And what did this gentleman say? He said, and you don't live in it.
Yeah,
Well,
depending.
depending.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending. So it was an interesting argument. It's just the delta's too wide, right? When it's something manageable and the ROI flushes out, it kind of makes sense. But we can do that. But it's still home ownership, and it has its it's not easy. Owning a home is a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Right. And,
I mean-
and Harry will tell you that, right? Cutting the grass. I got
Replacing your roof. Your toilet.
How'd you know that?
They're replacing a roof?
Well, they're working on it.
Okay.
So we're replacing the roof. All these things.
I did not know. Yeah.
The chemistry.
I literally did not know, Harry.
We don't secretly talk about your.
Yeah, we don't talk about you, Harry Tyson, except during the show. When he comments.
And we do.
Yeah.
We're going to.
Harry Tyson's his son-in-law. He's watching in Connecticut. He's great people.
And they all will be down for our youngest daughter's wedding in town. So we're going to get him at our fancy new table. He doesn't know this yet.
Harry Tyson, you're
He doesn't
coming on
know.
the program.
We're going to bring him on.
Harry Tyson's got a comment. Kelly Jackson, hello. Vanessa Parkhill
Kelly Jackson's a rock star. Thank
She
you.
is.
Thank you for all she does.
Vanessa Parkhill, have more liberal lending practices also allowed for home prices to raise at a higher rate than wages?
That's a really interesting question.
That's a great question.
I
In 2007, 2008, perhaps. Now, not so much.
Well, 2007 and 2008, it was the opposite.
Well, leading up to there, you're right.
Got it.
This is what you're saying. This coffee cup could have gotten a loan
For $500,000
before
bucks.
before the market crash.
So I would push back on that a little bit.
Okay.
Because the lending restrictions and I'm putting it in a lens of years, right, or a couple of decades, are far stricter today. So I'll give you an example. We're in the process of doing a closing right now, and there's 3 underwriters that this has to go through. 3 underwriters.
That's good.
See, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I will tell you.
I got no beef with that. Do you?
And the appraisers are starting to push back, and we're working
On values?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're working on an appraiser roundtable.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It'll be. Literally, they're so busy, I can't get on their schedules. So hopefully, in mid-June, late June, we'll go ahead and do this. So it's an interesting thing. I think it's purely a supply and demand thing, and we were talking about this on Tuesday. So again, people are staying in their homes much longer, so that's hurting the supply even less. Builders are starting to tamp things down until, as and this is what they're doing. They're tamping the big production builders, right? The folks that are doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units. They're tamping down their sales, which is then hopefully driving the lumber prices down.
Yeah.
And then they'll ramp those things back up. But, that lumber pricing is a cyclical thing. Or material pricing is a cyclical thing. So and then you have the largest buying profile ever coming of age to buy homes, the millennials.
Yeah.
And that's what's driving this. And then the interest
Those
rates.
millennials.
I love millennials.
Those
man. I
millennials.
love
You
them.
are a millennial.
I don't know about that, but I love them. My birth certificate says otherwise.
You're a millennial at heart.
There you go. So that's what's going on. But the lending requirements are so stringent now, which is a great thing. It's a brain damage, right? Somebody on the side to get a project approved or a loan approved through all this underwriting and so forth and so on to close is a lot of hard work. I say this all the time, and it's a little flippant. What's the easiest part on our job?
What is it?
Get them under contract. Hard part's closing it. Right? Hard part's closing it. That's that's when you're putting fires out, and you check that fire out, and so there's multiple underwriters. Underwriter A says he's okay with it. Underwriter B says no, she's not. We need a different variant, and it's just constantly going around and around and around, and then all of a sudden you get an email: we're done. We're going to closing, and that managing clients' expectations through that is hard. I just had to sit down with the client yesterday, literally for 4 hours, and we went through all the stuff and make sure that everybody was doing what they were supposed to be doing. So today we will get the clear, what they call the clear to close. So
Can I say this with Vanessa Parkhill? Vanessa Parkhill, I love when you comment on the show.
She's a rock star.
Yeah, she is. I'm just grateful for your support. Love your family, as you know. Huge fan of your son, and I really love.
I wasn't pushing back on her. It's a little different.
Oh, she doesn't mind.
Yeah,
For the sake of conversation, she knows that. I'm going to say this. Prior to the crash, I agree with her comment. Prior to the crash of 08, 09, in her comment, guys, Vanessa Parkhill have more liberal lending practices also allowed for home prices to raise at a higher rate than wages. So prior to the crash, a lot more folks had the opportunity to buy because bankers were throwing money at them.
So I think the best thing to ask a question is define liberal, right? So is it are they lowering the credit scores, right? Is that the definition of liberal?
I think what she means by liberal is she means relax, not as stringent. People not busting balls as much.
No, it's quite the opposite.
Well, now, but before the crash, it was not the case.
Yeah. So look. This is a cookie jar.
Yeah.
Right? Prior to, so I'm holding a cup, right? A cookie jar. So prior to the cookie jar was full of cookies.
Can I tell you? This is your cookie jar analogy. When I was 24 years old.
What year was that?
I don't know, a while ago. Okay. Rock. Fire. Safety shelter. When I was 24 years old, I bought my first place. The bank, and you have a story about this too. Dude, they were throwing a 5-year arm, 3-year arm, 7-year arm, 30-year fixed at a 6 and an 8. I had multiple options, right?
Yeah.
And I was working at the Daily Progress. I was working at making at that time like 10.
Did you have one of those?
I had a Pulse.
There you go. You were good.
Right.
You were good.
Yeah, but now with the place that I just got, 3 years tax returns. Oh, you're self-employed. Even worse. Give us even more info. We want your firstborn if you're self-employed.
It's funny. I was telling a client yesterday. I said, "So what's your underwear size?" Because I think that's coming up
Yeah.
next.
I mean, if you're self-employed and you're trying to buy a house, it is brutal.
Yeah. So, but. It's good. Do they need to loosen it up a little bit? I think so, right?
You think?
it's a little bit.
What do you think, Mustache Dan Pettit? I see you watching.
Yeah, but I'm gonna err because I went through the implosion and I went through the run up to that, and it was just wrong.
Yeah.
What it went through. So I'm good with this because you need a trusted advisor to help you navigate this through that process. But it's not an automated thing. If they ever get to that point that it's so push and play on the lending side, we will end up again where we were before.
100%.
So I'm good with it. This I think is purely a supply problem. It's a regulatory problem from a construction side. We talked about this on Tuesday. Nationwide, roughly 90 grand, 100 grand, somewhere around that is regulatory requirements in a new construction house. So I'm going to do simple math. A $400,000 house, about 100 grand of it is for regulatory.
It's shocking to me.
Yeah. Now, again, like I said on Tuesday, some of the stuff is much needed, right? Clean water, all this great stuff. Come on, guys, we can shave 10% off of this thing somewhere.
At least.
Yeah, somewhere, and that's the problem. Once these regulatory things start going into place, it's very difficult to walk them back. So when I am asked, how come we can't afford affordable housing in new construction, I say, well, if you take 100 grand off of it, it's a little cheaper, isn't it? So, just saying. But we'll never get 100 grand off of it, but we should be able to get 10, 20, 30, 40 grand, some amount of money that should come off of that. So
You talk, here's a comment. This is a good comment. Judah Wickhauer, you'll appreciate this. We were talking about this the other day. Is this Brian Susia? Am I saying your name right, Susia? You guys are talking about inflation. Having a bag of money in the bank account is not going to do you any good. The dollar is losing value every single day thanks to the federal government pumping in trillions of dollars into our economy.
Yeah.
Instead of having the money in the bank, put it into the market, pay it against your mortgage, or buy an investment property.
Great question. Leads to slide number 2, if you don't mind.
Well done, Brian. I
Well
agree
done,
with everything
Brian.
he just said.
So this is from.
You agree with that, don't you?
I do. This is, but I look at it because I'm not only because I'm a real estate guy, but if you look at according to Gallup poll, and I pulled it the other day, and there's a slide that Judah's going to put on. 41% of the folks that was asked that they feel that real estate has a greater value. Real estate has a greater value. Stocks is number 2 at 26%.
Well, can I tell you what you're supposed to do there?
What am I supposed to do?
Okay, you know what you're supposed to do. Anybody that's watching the program, keep the graph up, please. Take your money and spread it across all those categories.
Well, that's smart.
Diversify.
But the point of the graph is, and the point of the comment is that real estate hedges against inflation.
Oh, of course.
And that's what we were talking about on Tuesday.
But we should not marginalize a good cash position for emergencies.
No. Well,
Right?
Well, so I was listening to a podcast yesterday.
Folks, take what we say like it's the hand, that's why we got to be very careful.
So it's another Jewish saying from my mouth to God's ear. But the reality of it is.
I don't understand that saying.
So when you say something, God hears it.
Oh, understood. Okay.
So
Got it.
So, but the reality of it is 100% diversification. But this podcast I was listening to on NPR yesterday, it was very interesting. And it was kind of going along what you and Lee were talking about yesterday, about a recession, about whatever.
Well, he thinks there's a recession.
Yeah.
It was a bull and a bear.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm more in your ballpark than I'm in Lee's ballpark. But I'm going to agree with what you just said. And what this professor was saying, this doctor of economics was saying, is look, always assume there's going to be a recession. So build your cash position, right? So if it's whatever you can afford to go ahead and put into your cash position or diversification on that stuff. Because a recession will come. Is it next year, 2024, 2025, whatever it is? Look, I think what Lee's position was, I can't remember, and Judah probably knows this number. I can't remember how many trillions of dollars are being
Trillions and trillions of dollars
pumped in.
Yeah.
At some point, that's got to be paid back.
Well, in the speculation, that's why why interest rates can't go up anytime soon. Because if you raise interest rates,
We're talking mortgage rates.
yeah, well, we're talking the Fed.
Short term.
Yeah, if the Fed raises interest rates, they're basically saying, White House and government, you're going to have to pay more money to yourself. So,
Yeah, it's an interesting, thing to talk about because, I just don't see it. I don't see inflation happening. I don't see
interest rates going up dramatically.
I do see inflation.
Yeah,
going up.
we are in inflation.
Yeah, and that's scaring me more.
Hell yeah.
Than
$4 gas scares the hell out of me.
It's coming.
Yeah, $4 gas scares the hell out of me. These pinch supply chains don't seem like they're going to be solved anytime soon. We're going to see increased prices everywhere.
Yeah.
And wages are not escalating at the rate
Concurrently.
Yeah, exactly. Warren Buffett said, "Be fearful when others are greedy,
Yeah.
and be greedy when others are fearful."
Yeah. And stay in the same house for a long time, apparently.
And eat McDonald's breakfast every day.
Yeah, so inflation again. I wrap around. We all agree inflation is coming.
Yeah.
We all agree interest rates are going up. The numbers are, and again, this is a real estate show, so we got to plug this a little. But I truly believe this. Homes are starting to come on the market. Anemic, right? Mm-hmm. Anemic.
Yeah.
If I remember the numbers right, 2005, the same. Year to date, the days on market was somewhere around 40 something days on market, right? We're still down in the 6s and the 7s and the low numbers.
That's shocking.
So and that's a number I follow. And of course, we pull out the new construction side of things, right? Because that skews the days on market a little bit. But it's just all these different pieces of the puzzle. If you can get a 30-year mortgage for 3% now, and it's locked in for 30 years, you just beat inflation, big time. Like
Annihilated it.
big time.
You're locking in your not over 30 years when you're looking at what? Historically, what's inflation a year?
Oh,
3-4%?
Harry would know that.
Harry Tyson, historically, inflation
Harry would
every
know.
year. We're talking 2, 3, 4 points a year?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to throw a number out because
I'm pretty sure it's 2, 3, 4 points a year. Yeah.
to do that stuff. But it's interesting. I'm going to wrap this a little bit around the land trust.
Okay.
And a little bit about a sit down that
Mustache Dan Pettit says, "Don't be greedy anytime."
It's because he's a good man.
No,
He's a good man.
Mustache Dan Pettit's a great man.
Good man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the land trust, I did a class for 8 potential buyers. These are folks that never thought they'd be able to buy again. We did what the land trust model is, and when we talk about the land trust model, and you can see the light bulb go on when we talk about appreciation, right? And if you're in the home over a certain number of years and you make 2 extra payments, and I do this whole model for them that, we're going to get you into this home with like zero amount of money because we're going to get you a grant for the down payment, so forth and so on. But you're coming into a home, and if you're in it for this many years, this is how much money, this is the income, this is the net wealth, the generational wealth that you're going to build. Oh yeah, by the way, for rental, if you stay in rental, that generation wealth just stays flat.
Well, and on top of that, and I'm on the low end. My rents are increasing 4% every year.
That's a low number.
That's low. Our colleagues and peers are higher than that.
Yeah, sure.
Harry says, I love when you watch the program, Harry Tyson. Inflation, so I was right. Inflation in the United States averaged 3.23% from 1914 until 2021. It reached an all-time high of 23.7% in June of 1920 and a record low of 15.8%, negative 15.8% in June of 1921. Harry Tyson, A++. Harry Tyson.
Did you read that verbatim?
Yeah, I'll read it one more time. Harry Tyson is in finance, right?
He's a smart dude.
Yeah, smart guy. The inflation rate in the United States averaged 3.23% from 1914 until 2021. It reached an all-time high of 23.7% in June of 1920.
Can you imagine that?
No.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And a record low of minus 15.8% in June of 1921. Both are terrifying.
Yeah, that's a big swing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking, Keith Smith, a swing of basically 40%. Good stuff, Harry Tyson. 40% in a year.
You'd have to put on your history hat to figure out exactly what that was all about.
Well, and you remember what happened in this?
Well, it's interesting because 1918 was the repeat the last time this thing happened, right? The Spanish flu. This is right after the Spanish flu. That Pale Rider, if you remember that book, it talks about how things change but you went into that. It was right after World War I. Harry, thanks for the feedback, man.
He says, I just Googled it. I'm not acting like I had it memorized. I said, Harry, you had it memorized. I'm responding back to it.
He clearly doesn't know how to play the game.
He's playing the game
Of
the
course
right way. I mean, it's the workday at 11 o'clock and he's watching Real Talk. He's playing the game the right way.
I do not want to discourage my son-in-law from watching the show, but I was thinking, geez, how come he's not working?
The roof?
No. He hires people for that. Yeah. So inflation's coming, guys. It's coming. It's just coming.
What do you think $4 a gallon gas is going to do to Central Virginia?
So if Harry's still watching, ask him what it is in Connecticut right now. I bet you it's close to $4 a gallon.
How much is it a gallon of gas, Harry, in Connecticut?
I bet you it's close to $4.
How about your sisters in Cali? What's it at, J-Dubs? You got your mic on over there, homie? We love when Judah talks.
I can look it up.
Okay, what's the gas in Cali? Oh, he's looking it up. Okay,
So I can tell you, I know what it is in Vienna, Austria. You want to take a stab at what a gallon of
He
gas
says he's working. He's working. You're in my ear.
Multitasking.
What is it?
$8.
$3.20 in Connecticut. It's what?
$8. $8.
$8 where?
In Austria.
That's terrifying.
Well, it's always been.
Is that American bucks?
Yeah. That's
Austria, it's $8 equivalent to $8 US dollars.
The delta between a euro and a dollar is pretty darn close. As far as exchange rate goes.
Okay, Harry says it's $3.20 in
Yeah.
Connecticut now. Judah, California.
That's cheaper than I thought.
Oh, hell yeah. That's way cheaper.
Looks like where my sisters are is probably around $3.95, $4.
Yeah.
So $4 in Cali.
When it gets to $4 a gallon here, and inflation's at
I'm going to call it right here.
$4.
When it gets to $4 a gallon, and I'm not trying to be a bear. I am not trying to be a bear. I have a bull mentality.
That's Lee's job.
I have a bull mentality, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a glasses half full guy. But this is going to be a bearish statement. When gas hits $4 a gallon in Central Virginia, obviously you're smarter than I am when it comes to this topic.
No, I don't know
you know the first rooftops that are going to get dinged from a value standpoint?
Oh, I know it. I know exactly what you're going to say. Go ahead, say it.
It's going to be fly and drive till you qualify.
That's exactly
the Waynesboros, the
Yeah.
people that are going 40, 45 miles, 40 minutes to the epicenter of employment.
Except,
Okay, and you know what it's going to do to the homes in the urban ring and in the city in Iowa? Yeah, people are going to covet them even more.
so I think you got some balance going on in the market, right?
Okay.
And balance is a very liberal word, right? Because it's a little lopsided at the moment, right? From an inventory perspective.
Yeah.
But it's that seesaw is starting to go a little bit towards the balance side, and that's the trick, and that's what we all want to try to get to. We want to get to that point that
We all want that.
you're on your side at like a 0 pounds, and I'm like 200 pounds.
We want to be 100.
We want to be 100 each.
On
so
the seesaw.
We're balancing.
What would happen if you and I got on the seesaw right now?
I would go this way, and you would go that way.
And you shoot me in the air.
I don't know if I'd shoot you in the
I'm
air.
just joking.
You might.
No,
it might
you
just
would
might
not.
just happen.
I think that's more of a knock on me than you.
No. I got to lose a few pounds, but
Well, with the wedding coming up, you got motivation. Those photos are forever.
yes, dear. So
Honey.
So the Harry, pitch in, will you, man? I brought this up a couple of shows ago, and because maybe I'm just an optimistic guy, and
We both are.
you and I got this whole vision thing going on. We're pretty good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have changed this EV, this electric vehicles thing. The market, it's changed.
It's such a small sliver of market share, though. Can someone Google real quick?
I disagree. That's my point I'm trying to get at. is I think in the next 24 months, Ford just put out this freaking
Yeah.
F-150 Lightning.
I saw it.
Have you
Yeah,
seen
it's
that?
nice. Yeah. And you highlight often, is it the Chevy Volt?
Bolt.
Bolt.
B.
I mean, it's affordable.
Well, again, they just introduced the F-150 Lightning, but I drive a Tacoma. I'm a pickup guy. Always had a pickup. Always will have a pickup as long as I can afford it.
All right, here's a good stat for you.
My point is, my original go-to I got excited about was the new Hummer.
Right. Yona's not going to let you get the Hummer.
Not at $1.50.
It's $150K?
$150K.
The electric vehicle Hummer is $150,000?
Well, kind of the way I wanted it.
That's nauseating. You wanted it tricked out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the F-150 is going to be comparably priced to a normal F-150.
And you
That's
could tow
important.
your boat with that?
Yeah, sure, up to 10,000 pounds.
There you go.
The issue is for how long, right? So the more weight you pull, the more thing. But the point is that they really did it smartly. They left the core part of what works for the F-150 that's made it 45 years, number one truck on it, and they just changed all the guts and the underside of it. And really, the only thing they did differently with the trucks put this special bar light across the top, so it looks a little cool. But it's a 4-door F-150. Tows 10,000 pounds. I think they get 300 miles.
I'm going to play devil's advocate with you for the sake of a talk show.
I'm just trying to sell this to Yona is what I'm trying to do.
She's watching. You're doing a hell of a job. One thing you can do is sell. You know that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that.
This is you are a Hall of Famer.
Shit, I've been selling Yona for 35 years.
I'm staying with you. Just messing with you.
No.
I've been selling my wife for 5 years.
No. We're as you know, we're going to go away on our.
I'm going to miss you.
Yeah. And, I'm probably going to get myself into trouble, but I don't think that's ever stopped me before. Sometimes, because we work together every day, as you know.
Yeah.
And we're together 12 hours a day in work. I mean, we're always together 7 days a week.
But you guys have a little room for the Holy Spirit during the workday.
We do. We do. I don't like you. Go away. That's when that happens. But truly, we're deeply in love. I love her with all my heart and soul. She's my better 7/8. I would not know what to do if she was not in my life. That being said, every once in a while, and that kind of happened earlier this week, actually. Every once in a while, you get, I love you, but at the moment, I don't like you. So we go away to do a little reconnection so we can kind of get back to liking each other.
This reminds me of...
That's the truth. That's the reason why we do it.
I know. So before Trey was born, our son, Lauren, my wife, she was like an ops director here, doing a lot of the...
I don't know what that is.
Doing a lot of the stuff I didn't like.
Got it.
That she was really good at. You and I are more the big picture guys. Getting the details and the administrative... You know what I'm saying? Okay, so
That's the reason I hire people.
Yeah, she was in here working alongside us.
Yeah.
Judah was in the room, and there were some days Judah was like, remember when Lauren was working at the company, and it would get a little tense every now and again?
So I'll tell you, we never disagree on business.
Oh, good for you.
Never do. It's never happened. Never disagree. Now, we'll have a disagreement on, she'll... Right, Bold Bear, she might have a different opinion on something than I do, but at the end of the day, we always come to okay, that makes sense, and we move on. We do not ever, and I mean ever, get into this emotional portion of it. It's a business thing. It's just we're together so much, right? We just in my little things I do, which may annoy her, and she does nothing that annoys me. Nothing. That's true. She does nothing.
I believe you.
Nothing.
I sincerely believe
Absolutely
you.
Nothing. Is she still watching?
She's still watching,
nothing.
right?
Nothing.
Harry goes,
What is he doing?
You've been selling, quote, to Yona, Keith. You've been selling
Is he correcting me again?
Dude. Here's the stat I wanted to give.
I hate these smart people.
Here's the stat I wanted to give. The number of electric vehicles on U.S. roads is projected to reach 18.7 million in 2030, up from 1 million at the end of 2018. However, the 18.7 million in 2030, the expectation is just 7% of the 259 million vehicles on the road in the United States. So the prediction is, and this is from what's the
So you remember this little gas thing we had a couple of weeks ago that everybody's now forgotten about?
yeah. Well, did you know they paid?
$4 million or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Could you, when you heard that, did you just? I couldn't believe it.
Look, I think that just got chalked up as cost of business. What they were losing.
Terroristic attacks.
Yeah.
Cost of business.
Yeah. I come from a whole different world.
That's
about,
what I'm saying.
about that stuff. And,
yeah.
But
probably burned you up, didn't it?
a little bit. Yeah. You never pay.
Negotiate.
Yeah. But I get the business decision on it. Now, I
Mustache Dan Pettit says, it's just because she ignores you, Keith. You guys
Huh?
get
What did he say?
along.
What did he say? What did Dan say? Huh? What? Huh? Nice job, Dan. And you know what?
And you gave him props in the beginning of the show.
I did. Well, hey, look, here's the reality of it. If my son-in-law and Dan weren't busting my hump, that means they wouldn't like me.
Yeah, that's right.
So I take it as a form of endearment.
We got thick skin. People are loving the rise in fuel cost topic, and they want us to go deeper down the road. Multiple comments here on going deeper on the potential valuation issues $4 a gallon gas could have on housing.
Yeah. So I think what'll happen is, as you mentioned, I mean, let's face it, the reason mortgage rates are the way they are, the federal government's keeping them that way.
Of course.
Right? So if gas goes up, I suspect they will kind of keep on doing that. Again, to go to Lee's argument that he was doing yesterday, it's great, but at some point in time, somebody has to pay that. And it's probably not going to be me and you. It might be Trey, and it might be my grandkids. But somebody at some point in time has got to pay that bill. It just comes due.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we could just print more cash.
Well, that makes then
Devalues the dollar even more.
Remember that 4%?
Yeah.
Remember that 20-something percent?
Yeah.
That's where we'll end up.
Right.
Yeah, no.
How about
I like to believe there's way smarter people controlling things that know that.
so $4 a gallon gas, guys? We'll see. When's your prediction that's going to happen?
I think the end of this year. If things are tracking the way they are, I think the end of this year. When we're up to $3 where we
What was
buy
it
gas.
this morning?
$3.
It was $3.
Got gas this morning. Filled up.
What was it during COVID?
Oh, that's a great. It was below 3. I know that.
Oh, it was way below 3.
Yeah,
How much do you remember? How much per?
But I think to wrap it around real estate, and the comment that you made that on the other side of the mountain would get impacted, it will get impacted. It's just the way it is, right? It's just the market. But the market, the inventory is so low, so the pool of homes is pretty shallow. The pool of buyers are very deep at the moment. So somebody is going to buy those units, right? Somebody is going to make the calculation, okay, if it's an extra $25,000, whatever the amount of money is per month, they'll have the capital to do it, and they'll just do it, right? And eventually gas is either going to come down or go up or go whatever. But I really think, and maybe it's because I'm trying to sell Mrs. Smith into letting me buy a new F-150 electric pickup truck, Lightning. I mean, come on, Lightning.
I mean, Yes Team Realtors is doing really well.
Yeah.
Yes Realty Partners is doing really, really well.
Ooh, I got it. Ooh, Lightning. I like it. Ooh, hey, the marketing guy, you got it.
Yeah.
I love it. But the reality of it is I think you're going to see that start upticking. I really do. You're going to start seeing it. I think, if you take a look at if you watch the video on the reveal that Ford did for the F-150, I don't know if you've done it or not, but do it. They just didn't reveal the F-150. They are building an electric E-150 van or whatever van it is. So they are building vans that are electric for the service industry. So when, Amazon's delivering it, they're going to be using EVs, right? Now, there's a whole bunch of environmental questions that I have about that. What do you do with the batteries when they're done? And, oh, by the way, how do you produce electricity, right, is important on that. On our end of it, we're going to put some solar on our house and just use that to charge the car. But, yeah, I am hook, line, and sinker on EVs. Probably next year we're going to do it.
Christopher Sherling says, Jerry and Keith, during COVID, gas was $1.81 and change in our area. I filled up my tank yesterday and it was over 3. We're talking $1.20 plus increase in less than a year.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher. $4 end of the year.
This is
not
an
sooner.
interesting comment, and this is coming from Steven. Steven, I'm not going to try your last name here. Yeah.
But that's why you want to buy a house to hedge against inflation, right? So you can buy a house because the gas is going to go up, rent's going to go up.
Put your money in an index fund too.
Index fund.
Yeah. Think about an S&P fund.
I do
ETFs.
not give financial advice.
ETFs, guys. That's another way to hedge.
They should watch show does that on your network.
Today y mañana. Yeah, ETFs
Those
are a good hedge.
Those are experts.
This one right here. Well, I mean, let's cut to the chase. If you put your money in an index fund, you got a strong track record of proof of performance. So that's going to hedge against inflation. This is from Steven. He says the Ford F-150 has a starting price of just under $40K.
And then when you kick in the $750 tax credit until that goes away, it makes it very attractive.
Bill, I was paying $3 a gallon for my truck, but that was premium non-ethanol. Harry, it was below $2 in a few places over here in Connecticut for a bit, but oil went upside down for a little bit. There were a lot of factors involved in that.
Absolutely.
I mean, during COVID, a barrel of oil, the oil companies were paying you to get it off their hands.
Yeah, but nobody was driving.
Yeah, that's why. They had too much supply. They didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's just going to go up, guys. You're going to see fuel go up, inflation go up. Again, real estate show. Interest is as low as it can be. Inventory's creeping up. You know, get out. If you're in a position, if that's where you are in your life, right, and you're ready to do something, now's the time to do it, because prices are going to go up. They're dropping on the short term, but they're going to track at this 5, 6, 4% year over year. It's going to happen. It historically happens that way. So buy now. Get your mortgage payment set for 30 years. Your appreciation is going to happen. It just makes sense.
Mustache Dan Pennant, the future is an electric bicycle for people living close to where they need to go.
Well,
Matthew Gillikin,
we track
chemistry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And he has a rad bike, which I actually visited the factory out in Seattle. It's absolutely great thing. They actually have a product right now that you can buy an electric bike for around $1,000. You know, they go up. There's up a little bit higher, but you can get a city commuter style kind of bike for around $1,000. You know, it's got a chargeable battery in it. You charge it. I think it goes up to 25 miles an hour or something like that.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah,
especially around
works.
town.
But here's the problem with that, and Matthew will agree with that. Our infrastructure isn't quite there.
Yeah, from safety on the roads.
And I know that personally. It is our what. So that's the term intermodal, right? Right. So multimodal. I apologize. Not multimodal.
Yeah.
Modal. So you kind of walk, bus, bike, you know, rail, light rail, all those different things.
One of Western Albemarle's finest alumni, Erin King, watching the program. Hello, Erin King, marketing director at Feast. Erin King, EK, you know I love you, lady. Curious to see what you think. And Nina is asking this question. Is it Nina Hudson? Yes, it is. So, Keith, do you think the final 6 months of the year will be another spring market?
So that's great that we actually have a slide that covers that.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Nina. So not only will that I think that, so that would be slide 8, Judah.
Okay.
This is per NAR and Mortgage Brokers Institute. 43% of all the professional economists that they surveyed, the second half of this year will be 43% of the economists say that we'll be growing up. Excuse me, I apologize. It'll increase 43% this year. Thank you, Judah, for doing that. Keep that up for a minute. Next year, it'll drop down to 26. So it'll start going down there, but we're looking at the second half of 2021 to increase. So the short answer of the question is, not only do I think it will, and the numbers are proving it, right? It's starting to creep up. We're going to have a strong inventory year, but then I think it's going to kind of slow down a little bit. And that reason that's going to slow down, we're going to be over 4%. of mortgage rate at that point in 2022.
So this question's coming in via Instagram. So do you expect, if more inventory is coming on the market, that we're going to have a more relaxed market? Of course.
Yeah, so I think relax is we're referring to multiple offers, right?
That's what.
That insanity. Yes, obviously, as inventory goes up and we get more to this balanced seesaw, right? I get closer to your weight and we end up being balanced. I think you're going to see that. But just go back to this DOM thing, right? We're still at 6 days on market versus 40 something in the highest market of 2005, right? So this seesaw has quite a way to go to do that. So instead of maybe competing against 14 offers, it's 3 or 4. It's going to be a little bit of time before that gets into that balance.
I mean, you've kind of predicted this. Your prediction's been this is going to be years.
Yeah.
Isn't that what your prediction?
It's not even me.
Yeah.
It's everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we've made our own bet.
Yeah. This inventory crunch isn't going to go anywhere unless we wake up tomorrow morning and mortgage rates go from 3% to 6%.
But that won't do that. That would crash the American economy.
Yeah. Well, as we know, it's in the state of Virginia, the second largest GDP of revenue.
The real estate ecosystem.
That's correct.
We learned that from
The Good Doctor, Lisa Sturtevant.
You tagged her in a comment. Is she going to come on the show? When you come back?
I tagged her. She didn't reply. But,
okay.
But we'll get a phone call later on today before I head out of town.
We're a big fan of Lisa Sturtevant.
We are. So
we got to let folks know what's going to happen with the next 4 Real Talks.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of guest hosts coming up as Mrs. Smith and I take a little time off on a little vacation, do some traveling, and we've got Greg Slater coming in on the
Love Greg Slater.
Next Tuesday. He's going to talk what he's good at many things, but he's really good at new construction. So we were going to.
Does he have a guest?
He said he's working on a couple of round table stuff. So
Very nice.
So we're going to do that, and then Quentin Beckham, the QB, is going to fill out the rest 3, and he has a whole litany of fun coming out. Everything from like a guest talk show, quiz show. I have no idea, but I'll be watching it from afar, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
What time is it going to be where you're at?
We're on the same.
Oh, same time frame?
Yeah, we're on the same.
Yeah, and good internet connection? Time will tell.
Are you trying to get me to call in?
No, I'm curious.
No. We actually got fiber internet where we
Oh,
stay.
you do?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So 2 weeks to recharge and to come back?
Recharge, do a little business planning. To be honest with you, it's a remote work thing is what we're doing. We're going to be working for half a day and then hanging out for a half a day.
That's awesome. You've earned it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yona's earned it.
Yona's earned it. I carry the bags.
No,
so
you
I just
don't.
carry the bags. I carry the bags. Makes me run around.
You should let them know you just got clearance on this trip.
I just literally
just got clearance.
Just got clearance.
That's great.
Well, we're going out of the country, so that's the reason I needed clearance.
How do you feel? You feel comfortable, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. My risk, our appetite for risk is maybe different than most.
That's
folks.
because you were behind the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, we lived in parts of the world that
Yeah.
just a little. Look, use your head, be smart. It's like if you wander around certain neighborhoods in New York, you just got to use your head. That's all.
And you grew up there.
Grew up there, yeah.
My friend, I'm going to miss you.
Yeah. I don't want this to end. I'm trying to figure out a way to make this thing go on longer so we can tell.
Lee Elverson, that we got the record?
Yeah. No. Lee, he got the record.
He
yes.
texted me and said his phone's been blowing up.
Cool. From the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys going to do a regular show? You think?
I mean, who's gonna?
You want me to talk to him?
You know what I was alluding to.
I know exactly what you're alluding to.
No, I'll talk to him about that. Well, Mustache Dan Pettit says, "Where are we going? Where are me, Yoda, and you going?" Mustache Dan Pettit.
The weird thing is he probably would show up if I told him.
Don't tell him.
He literally would show up.
Dan, I love when you watch this show.
So I'm not telling you, Dan.
He'd show up with his tennis racket.
I haven't even told you where we're going. Nobody knows where we're going.
No.
No, I'm only kidding.
You
I'm
told
only-
me.
Yeah. No, Dan, I will not tell you because you will show up, and then I'll have to buy you food, have to buy you drinks. It'll be horrible.
A tennis session.
Bad
Dude's
ROI.
got a great stroke from the baseline.
That'll be a bad ROI.
That would be a bad ROI. You on vacay with Mustache Dan Pettit for 2 weeks.
So there's a story about that, not Dan. So Yona, I don't know if you know this or not, but Yona married me 3 times.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so we had our...
I know you asked her, you proposed to her while on the phone as a Ruski was listening to, right?
To be exact, it was a Bulgarian.
Oh, Bulgaria. Tell us that story. That's a good story.
Yeah, so it took me 6 weeks. So our youngest daughter asked me, "Hi, Daddy, how did you ask Mommy to marry?" I said, I called her on the phone, and she goes, "Well, that's like super unromantic." And I went, "Yeah, no, time out. I was in Canada wrapping up my last 6 or 9 months. Yona was behind the Iron Curtain at the Austrian Embassy in Bulgaria. It took me 6 weeks to arrange a phone call. I had to navigate our embassy system, the Austrian embassy, by this Soviet phone system. And when I finally got her on the phone to do this, you can literally hear the guy smoking a cigarette. He was literally, you can actually hear them. And then when she said yes, he went, "Congratulations," click,
Get out
and
of
hung the phone. Yeah, sure.
And then you married her 3 times. Tell us that story.
Yeah, so we got married in Ottawa, Canada, May 26, 1986.
Okay.
I was rotating out, it was a justice of the peace kind of thing, and got married. We didn't have the money to do anything. We just got married. We only knew each other for 3 months, by the way, before we got married. So then we get married. We have our youngest daughter, Yasmina, who's Harry's better 7/8. And we got to work. We came down here and started working. We opened up businesses and So money starts coming in. So we renewed our vows for our 10th wedding anniversary. And we actually had so we call it back home like a football wedding. I hired the firehouse, had a couple hundred people, 4 or 5 kegs of beer.
Nice.
Bunch of thing, and we just had fun. Had a wedding. So
Sounds amazing.
So the second, the
When are we
third,
going to do that again?
soon.
Let's ask Pop.
Pop will do it.
Yeah.
Pop's
Pop's got the ins with the firehouse, right? And was it Richie?
Richie. By the way,
The fire chief, right?
by the way, Richie just came out of the hospital. He had a stent put in, so he's doing good. God bless him. So the third time was for our 25th wedding anniversary on the beach that we're going to go visit here and tomorrow on that stuff. So
Bill said- go
she
ahead.
had an opportunity to say no 3 times. I'm just saying.
And she did.
She did not.
Bill says, tell Keith to bring you some rakia from Bulgaria. R-A-K-I-A.
Rakia.
What's rakia? Yona, what's rakia? Yona, are you still watching?
Rakia.
R-A-K-I-A? Rakia. Rakia is, I'm doing a quick Google search, is the collective term for fruit spirits or fruit brandy popular in the Balkans.
Yeah,
I just
that's
learned
right.
something.
That's right.
Rakia is a fruit brandy popular in Central Europe and Southeast Europe. The alcohol content of rakia is normally 40% ABV, but home-produced rakia can be stronger in the 50 to 80% range. I had no idea what rakia was.
So you would so that was traditional. You had a meal. At the end of the meal, you that's what you drank to settle your stomach. At least that's how we used to do it. But what we used to really drink, keep in mind, I was 18, 19 years old at the time. We used to have, because we would literally cost nothing to get Russian vodka, really good, or my favorite was a Polish potato vodka, and Russian champagne and Russian caviar. And, that was because it was like next to nothing back in those days. Yeah.
Dan Pettit says, I'll carry the bags.
No, you
Just
won't.
please bring me.
You're not coming. Dan, not happening. Send you pictures, brother. That's the best you're gonna get.
You're going to post them.
No, we're not. We're not gonna post anything.
No?
No, we don't do that.
All right, well, we're going to miss you.
Yeah. So
Tuesday, Greg Slater.
Greg Slater on Tuesday, the infamous QB.
Probably my favorite hokey is Greg Slater.
Is there such a thing for?
There's few and far between.
I'm about
but
to say for a guy from UVA, is there
There's
such
few
a
and
thing?
far between, but I like Slater.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah, and then Friday of next week, QB with Lee? Or is that the following Friday?
Yeah, he's holding this as a secret. He's got this he's got something, folks. You got to watch them because he's got some neat.
Are you setting me up for like?
I don't think I'm setting you up. I think QB's setting you up. I don't know. He just said.
QB setting me up.
I don't know. He just said he got it. He got it because I was trying to have a. Do we need to talk about it? And he said I got it. So I'll be watching just like you. Down on the.
Except I'm going to be on camera behind the microphone.
Yeah, you'll do fine.
responding
You'll do
to
fine.
QB.
You'll do fine.
All right, Nostrave. Nostrave. What is that, Bill? I'm not sure what that is. Is that Bulgarian?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Nostravia.
Oh,
That's what he's saying.
is that what he's saying?
Nostravia.
Nostravia.
Cheers.
Okay. Nostrovia.
Nostrovia.
Nostrovia. Prost.
So ask.
Salud.
So
Cheers.
I got to ask him. How come he knows? Is he Bulgarian?
Bill, are you Bulgarian?
Yeah.
Bill, I don't know if he's Bulgarian. Nostrovia.
Well, he knows a little too much about Bulgaria to
To not be Bulgarian.
well, or something like. Yeah, it was an
I think
interesting.
he's just in Albemarle County. No, actually, he's a city of Charlottesville.
So interesting story on that. We were pre-COVID. I'm sorry. You want to get off?
No.
right?
I like it. Keep going.
pre-
I need some Keith fix. And Dan Pettit says, great show. I'm signing off and have a great vacation, Keith and Yona.
Good.
Yeah.
He'll call me literally. So where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going?
I know.
True story. Pre-COVID, having dinner at one of our favorite restaurants, and the waitress had a very similar accent. That we understood the accent. We said, hey, "Are you from Bulgaria by any chance?" Turns out that she was from Sofia, Bulgaria. She was 18 years old, and we started talking about her country under communism that she didn't know. She had no reference of understanding that because she didn't live it.
Of course.
And it was pretty interesting. We were sitting downtown Charlottesville, having a glass of wine, talking to a waitress from Bulgaria. It was an exchange student from Bulgaria about her country that didn't exist any longer. The system didn't exist any longer, to put some historical context to it. It was just a really interesting, it was just Yona and I having a conversation. I don't know. Thought it was an interesting story, or not.
It was an interesting story.
Yeah.
That's an
Maybe so.
interesting story.
I think Dan is going to be calling me here in a minute.
Is it ringing?
No, I'm looking at it. It's not ringing yet.
All right, guys. You guys have a good one. Keith Smith is going to recharge for 4 shows. Tuesday, Greg Slater. Friday next week, Quentin Beckham. I believe Lee Alberson is going to be on the show with QB a week from today.
He has a whole thing planned.
He's terrifying.
I know.
He's absolutely.
So, do me a favor.
Quentin's always up.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's conniving
I
something.
know. There's always, the wheels are always turning with that guy.
So, but the thing is that you know it, so you got to be mentally prepared for it.
Harry said the show is fantastic.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Harry.
Hey, do me a favor.
Really appreciate you, Harry.
Put on slide number 9, please.
Slide number 9. Wow, you called him the right things today.
No, I want to say something to you.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Slide 9.
Well,
Wait, slide 9 is not on.
We'll get-
Is he talking slide 8? Oh, we're talking to me. You're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
Liza, you're awesome. The 3 Stooges and a dog. This is like 3 Men and a Baby, except it's 3 Stooges and a dog on Real Talk, right?
I think you just gave me the costume.
Yeah, let's do the 3 Stooges. Who are you going to be? Curly? Mo? Judah, who do you want to be?
Well, he's curly.
Yeah,
Just
he's,
don't
all
like
right.
it.
Judah's curly. All right, this is what we're going to be for Halloween. So, Judah, you're going to be curly. Who are you going to be?
I was thinking Mo, but
I'll be whatever you need me to be.
okay, got it.
Okay, so you're Mo. Do you know the 3rd Stooge, J-Dubs?
Shemp.
Yeah, there's Shem.
Shemp.
There's also,
There's actually 4 of them.
yeah.
There's actually 4 Marx Brothers, right? Right? No, I'm on Marx Brothers. I'm on the wrong.
Get that microphone in front of you. So
I'm
we
on
can
the
see
wrong.
that big,
I'm on the
beautiful
wrong
brain.
thing. I got my head.
Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Yeah.
Mo, so I'm going to be I should be Larry. I mean, Jerry, Larry. I'm Larry.
So I had the Marx Brothers in my head. So
So you're going to be Mo, you'll be Curly, and I'll be Larry. And then Liza's going to be J-Dubs.
Liza. But look, guys. I was coming in before I told you I was a little jealous about something coming in, but I wanted to do the You're Awesome this is show 167.
That's amazing.
Two and a half years, almost 2.5 years.
It's been so fun.
We spend hours together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to miss it. I really am going to miss it the next 2 weeks.
I say this all the time to my wife. My favorite part of my day is hanging out with her and Trey. My favorite part is hanging out with you and Trey. My second favorite part of the day is doing this.
I love it. Yeah, I love doing it. I love doing it. And
You feel like you're on top of the mountain.
well,
I do.
yeah.
When you're done.
Yeah.
Especially when it goes well.
Well,
And
yeah.
then when it doesn't go well, like if you have internet issues or you're just not on point,
Yeah.
it feels like a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think there's like show 8. I don't think we've ever done anything that was below an 8.
Bill
Right?
says accept his friend request on Facebook, damn it.
Well, okay. I'm talking here.
I know.
I'm talking
He's doing
here.
a show. He's doing a show, Bill.
Damn,
He's doing
Bill.
a show.
But I will, sir. I promise. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had a show like a feeling of level below an 8. Some of them are 10, some of them are 12s.
You've never had below an 8?
I've never had a below an 8.
So the reason I've had
Of what we do, anyway.
Right. I've had a below an 8 when like the internet crapped out.
Yeah.
And then like you can't do the
But
show.
yeah.
But that's not necessarily like technically our fault.
yeah.
But still, there's nothing more like, and that was only when it was Comcast. Never when it was Ting. Only when it was Comcast. Only crapped out as Comcast. Mona,
Oh, there you go.
Keith, the Carriage House has sourdough and Wi-Fi for your next staycation off-site, and we'll make sure you have cold kombucha.
Ooh.
Mona Daniel.
Yeah, please look that up. We shared it in the link, right?
Rosemont Farm.
Yeah, it's an outstanding.
Rosemont Farm.
I know the building. It's freaking awesome. You even got a garage, if I'm not mistaken.
Harry goes, I remember the internet day when it crapped out. That sucked. Thank you, Harry. It was. You thought it sucked. Imagine how the odor of the net is devastating. It's just because we're we want to be perfectionists. You know what I mean?
That too. Look, let's be honest. When we started, at least when I started this 2.5 years ago, I was like, let's have some fun, and then the response
Became the voice of real estate.
Well, I don't know about that, but the responsibility of what we do and what you do every day, right? On your noon show, I just do it twice a week. You do it 5 days a week. The responsibility to get it right, and the responsibility to make sure that you're providing accurate information and at a fun, engaging,
in an entertaining way, but still being informative.
But it's a lot
of challenge.
And I'm not saying this just to.
It's hard.
It's a lot of work,
Yeah,
guys.
you just have to do honestly, what it comes down to it is you have to read everything.
Yeah, and you know how I struggle with that. But
you read a ton, though.
I do read a lot.
I've noticed that about you.
I do read a lot.
Like a ton.
I do read a lot.
Yeah, and that's the way you're able to do these shows, especially stuff that's local.
Retaining it is the tricky
You
part.
retain it.
Yeah.
The
The specifics.
Harry also said in the beginning of COVID, you had all those work from home audio issues.
Yeah. Thank you for saving us on
I
that.
do remember that, Harry. Thank you, Harry Tyson.
Jesus Christ.
And Bill says, Mo, Larry, but Curly and Shep switched off. Curly
So
and
Harry
Shep.
has to be a little careful because I am going to make his ass sit here when he's.
I know you are.
when
I
he's
can't
done.
wait.
So
When is that happening?
I can't remember the dates. I mean, the wedding's the 12th. They'll be here.
So
probably the show of the 11th.
The wedding is the 12th,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to ask the bridal party to come here on the 11th.
No, I did not say that. I said Harry.
Oh, Harry. Okay.
Harry.
So not
No,
your youngest daughter and her
no,
man-to-be.
No.
Husband-to-be.
No.
Okay.
Or maybe.
Are you planning that?
No.
Don't do
Totally
that.
not. Totally not. Hold on a second. Totally
His
not.
fingers are crossed. Oh, God.
Totally not. You never know. You think Beckham's going to do it, but I truly mean this, and that's why I put the "You're Awesome" in this, and Judah and everybody. This is so much fun, man.
I agree.
And and Harry will know this. I can't write worth a damn, right? But I can do this.
You're speaking to Siri pretty well.
Oh no, Siri does not understand.
Siri
right?
doesn't understand.
So who do you got? I just realized.
I know we got it. I got Chef Jabari Wallington to talk about how inflation is going to impact menu prices in Charlottesville.
Ooh.
He is the executive chef and does the menu pricing for the Doubletree Hilton. And they're in a unique position because they have a little bit purchasing power and economies of scale.
Sure.
But he's also been the executive chef at Farm Bell Kitchen
Got it.
on West Main.
Yeah, sure.
And Restoration in Old Trail. So Chef Jabari is going to come and say, here's the perspective from a kitchen that has economies of scale and purchasing power, and here's the perspective from pricing from a one-unit mom and pop locally owned.
Yeah.
And we're going to compare and contrast how inflation and supply chain pressure is going to put even more pressure on the one-unit mom and pop.
So I was just looking at my schedule was the rest of the day. I'd really want to listen to that. That's gonna be a good show.
He's got the numbers. He's got everything.
Good for
It
you.
should be a good show.
Good for you.
So he said we figured it out, and we recovered nicely.
Who's that?
Harry did. Yeah. Thank
He's
you.
trying to weasel out of it.
He's trying to. Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun when he's here on the 12th.
I can't wait. Evidently, I've been told that we may have clippers and a razor when he's here.
Who told you that? Not me.
I just made that up. That's not true.
Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna,
Judah, Keith, Jerry, Real Talk, presented by Yes Realty Partners, Yes Team Realtors, and Interstate Pest and Service Companies. Yes Realty Partners and Yes Team Realtors are trusted names in the game. If you want to navigate one of the most difficult decisions of your life, Keith and Jonas Smith and
our
Yes
team.
Realty Partners will go to the wall for you.
we're working remotely, folks. That's all we're doing.
We'll go for the wall for you. Judah, thank you. Keith, you have a good trip.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it.
We will see you in approximately
So we're
43 minutes.
We're trying to. I'm trying to grow this
You're-
up. So I think.
For you to get the record, we would have to go past 12:30 start.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We'd have to get,
Well, the record of Real Talk. I think the.
oh, the record. You have the record of real. No, he said it was
No.
45.
I don't. Harry never really. I think it's 45, and that would give us another 4 minutes. But I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to do that to Jude, I'm really not going to do it to Liza. But thanks, guys. Really,
Yeah, our pleasure.
Thank you for everything, man. Thank you.
You guys have a good one. We'll see you soon on the I Love Seaville show. Take care.
So I've got to do a friend request before I get into trouble.
Bill.